Welcome folks to paradise. This right here is a four-wheel drive destination that's on the bucket list of every red-blooded Aussie. A place jam-packed full with the best camping, fishing and driving combined. And right now, I'm about to take it on in the car of my dreams. That's right, the Dirty 30 is taking on Fraser. An ultimate shakedown deserves an ultimate convoy, so I'm meeting up with a bunch of industry legends who have helped me make the 30 into the weapon that you see today. Together, we're going to take on the best the island has to offer. How good is this? A bit of sand under the tyres, in my favourite truck, in one of my favourite places in Australia, Fraser Island. Catching up with the boys in a second, and I just can't wait to show them the finished rig, but also I can't wait to show them Fraser Island, because this trip is going to be exactly what dreams are made of. The rebuild of the Dirty 30 has been a labour of love for more than 3 years in the making. And if you haven't seen it already, make sure you check out the build series on our channel. I'm so stoked at last being able to share the 30's first trip with you all. But while we're here, I'm also going to show you my 8 favourite things to do on Fraser Island. First on the list is a four-wheel drive 24/7 crew Fraser tradition, and that's to grab a hot pie from the Eurong Resort Bakery. Oh yeah, here's a couple of familiar rigs.
Look at that. Made it, mate?
Made it.
It's looking real good.
How good does it look? A little bit of sand under the guards.
Yeah, it's already dirty. Oh, you got a rooftop tent as well?
Rooftop tent, she's all ready, mate.
Yeah.
She's all ready. So I reckon we get a pie. From you boys have had a pie?
I've already got one, and yeah, I've had a couple.
We're going to get a pie, and I reckon I'll show you some of the best parts of Fraser.
All right,
let's go. Get into it, eh? Well, blokes, I'm going to say this is a very, very good-looking convoy, and even Jock's vehicle's not too bad either. Jocko, you around, mate?
Yeah, got you, mate. I'm just borrowing the view from the Luxie. It's the old 30 looks pretty good from behind, mate.
It's not too bad, is it, mate? I'm so excited to be here on the island, mate, and be with you boys as well. Jocko, you're in the Little Pony, mate. I noticed there's no Little Pony stickers anymore.
No, I took the stickers off, but I think the name's gonna stick. But even got a nice new touring canopy on it, so I'm ready to go, eh?
Looks the part, mate. What an absolute weapon. Jock's LN106 was built up in my shed in just 24 hours as part of our Bush Mechanic budget build series. This track weapon has already taken on the toughest tracks in the glasshouse, and now fitted with the sub $1,000 canopy that Jock and I built in the shed, the Pony Lux is ready to show you just how little you need to get out there and explore the best four-wheel drive destinations in Australia. The other four-wheel drives in our convoy are some absolute dream rigs. First up, we got Michael from Fulcrum Suspensions with a tricked Hilux fitted with some upgraded shocks ready to tow. These legends also kitted out the 30 suspension, and Michael is trying out the latest creations from Opus Campers, the OP Light. This bad boy is a super lightweight version of Opus's famous Airbeam technology camper. It's perfect for tough touring, and we're going to take it to some of Fraser's most remote campsites. Next up, it's Ruben from DMW Industries, wheeling this insane Chop 200 series complete with a custom canopy that turns this vehicle into a touring weapon. Of course, the 30 is running its own canopy setup thanks to DMW, and these guys know exactly how to put together a quality touring setup. Up the back is Kaido from Drifter Camping and 4-wheel drive in his trusty Hilux, tricked out with Drifter's latest creations. These guys offer a huge range of quality products to make camping life better, and they've made sure the 30 is no exception. Alright, the name of the game right now is to get some miles under our belts and beat the tide so we can get up to Sandy Cape. I just really want to get up there because it is the premium campsite. It's my favourite campsite in Australia, and I reckon it's the perfect place to really shake down the camping setup on the Dirty 30. So, got the boys in tow, and we're just basically trying to make some miles up. Between us and Sandy Cape are a couple of Fraser classic challenges, starting with a crossing of Indian Head. Here we go, Indian Head. This will be the first real challenge for the 30. I can't wait.
Pressure's on, mate, and you got the Pony Lux on your tail, so don't get stuck, eh?
I'm going full manual mode in the auto, mate, so bear with me as I learn how to do this.
You know it, mate.
Look at that, easy up to slow down. That's so cool. I was in 4th gear low then, and then just had to come back down to 3rd, just back off a little bit. That was easy.
Go the 30.
Come on.
You go, Jocko.
Oh, I needed all 4 horsepower to get through that.
Well done, mate. Well done. That was awesome.
Come on, old girl. My foot is flat, hey.
You might need to give it a bit of Bondy through there, Michael.
I'm trying, mate. The pedal is buried. The pedal is buried.
A sand island is a place you'd traditionally think twice about before taking a camper trailer, but not anymore, with a capable off-road trailer like the Opus making it possible to take a little luxury wherever you go. Keep into it, mate. Reuben's 200 is an absolute beast, and as expected, it's just eating up this challenge.
Go the 200. Second. Third. Right, booster up.
With Indian Head under our belt, I guess you could say the 30 is now officially on the tracks, and man, what a beast it's proven to be. I can't wait to give this thing a real challenge. It's got so much power, and with the auto, you just have that torque almost instantly. I had to back down, jump on the brakes. That's the first time I've ever had to jump on the brakes in Indian Head. Ah, super cool. Go the 30. It's been a long time since I said that. A few hours drive north is number 2 on my Fraser favourite list, and of course, it's Nagala Rocks. I love this place, not just for its challenging sandy climb, but because it represents the gateway to the remote northern end of the island that sees a lot less traffic. Here we go, Nagala Rocks. The infamous Nagala Rocks. If you're going to get stuck on Fraser Island, this is the place it's going to happen. Here we go, this is exciting. This is exciting. It does look like the sand's quite compact. We did have a bit of rain the last few days, and I think conditions might be favourable. Here we go. Third gear, doing it easy. The thing with Nagala is just don't back off. You think you've made it, it just keeps going.
Mate, you did that with ease.
Yeah, boys. That's all that rain has really made that quite compact.
Yeah, right. Last time we were here, I remember being stuck for hours.
I know, it can be like that sometimes. You get like a few weeks of really good weather, lots of sun, and this becomes like talcum powder. Jock's little Hilux has already proved just how capable it is in the glass house. And with those twin auto lockers, they should be doing a lot of work right here too.
Ah, easy. I think. Yeah, wow, that's one of the easiest times I've driven up and go. Oh, I'm bouncing everywhere.
Michael's up next, and would you look at that? It's pretty rare you'll see someone try and take a camper trailer over Nagala. With a combo of good suspension and a light camper trailer, it's easy work. Too easy, mate, good drive. Reuben's gone for the low and slow approach here, and it's worked an absolute treat. And why wouldn't you, when you've got over 800 Newton meters on tap?
Magical. Third gear low, drop through these holes and give it a... Oh, easy.
With Nagala Rocks done, we're one step closer to Sandy Cape, and I'm going to say it's pretty rare to be able to make it this easily so far north on the island. If you've watched some of our other Fraser episodes, you'll know how often we've found ourselves bogged at Nagala Rocks, even into the night, but today, everything's going our way. How's the conditions, Jocko? It was been raining all week and the sun has opened up. I mean, the tides aren't even that high, so we can make good progress down the beach, and even Nagala Rocks was easy. As long as a bit of a sign, mate.
Yeah, I was just thinking that. It's probably wanting you to have a good maiden voyage in the 30. Turn the weather on for us and the tracks are pretty easy. How good's that, eh?
Yeah, it's like Mother Nature's just saying, come on 30, up you go. Sandy Cape is all yours. Sandy Cape is number 3 on my list of Fraser Island must-dos, and I challenge you to name a better spot to camp. This remote north end of the island is only open up to about 30 people at a time, so once you make it, you know that you've almost got the place to yourself. Well, here we are, boys. One of my favourite places in Australia, Sandy Cape. As soon as you go around this corner, you're in a completely different world.
Mate, I tell you, I know why it's your favourite. Every time I go up here, I have the biggest smile on my face. I reckon it's one of the best campsites in Australia, hey?
How good is this?
There's one hell of a sand dune.
Ah, yes! Sandy Cape, bring it on. Our good luck continues as we nab my favourite pick of the campsites, nestled right up against this massive sand dune, which features on the next item on my Fraser list, but more on that later. For now, we're going to break out camp, and I'm going to spend my first ever night camping in the new Dirty 30. Man, I'm so excited. Now, I can't wait to show you around my camp, but the rest of the boys are rocking some pretty sweet setups as well. Kaido's soon got the latch flipped on his rooftop tent, and Michael's done the old push the button trick on the Opus. He can sit back and let the tent and annex auto-inflate. Now, Michael usually makes do with a pretty basic swag setup, so he's living at large today in the Opus Light Camper. Not a bad upgrade, mate, but I've got a few tricks of my own on the 30, so let me take you through it. Well, my campsite is fully set up, and when I say fully set up, everything is attached and looking really, really good. So I thought I'd take a second to show you around this complete setup. I mean, I've been building cars and camping around this country for about 15 years. I've never had a setup this good. And what's so good about this one is it's fast to set up. It's quite luxurious, but at the same time, it's quite simplistic. The other cool thing is I've managed to keep the weight distribution of the vehicle quite well. All the weight's over that rear axle. I've got a half canopy, not a big full-size canopy. I can fit everything in there, and it's one of the most comfortable campsites I've ever seen. So come with me and have a look at this. This is my cooking area. I've got an IGT set up. Now this is from Drifter. It's lightweight. It's made out of aluminium. We've got bamboo here. This is all different infills. So you can basically use like from cutting boards. This one here is a barbecue. So it uses heat beads, and I'll show you this tonight. We're gonna cook up a bit of a barbecue tonight. We do a lot of barbecues out in the bush. Meat doesn't get much better when it's cooked on the coals like I'm gonna do tonight. So this is this setup, which is like the cooking / cold beer getting area. Come with me, I'll show you the other side. So in the back here, it's quite simple. I've got all my recovery gear in a stash recovery bag. Also got a hard case. It's on strut as well, so I've got all my tools, spare parts, all little bits and pieces in there, and it looks quite good as well with the vehicle. It doesn't take up a lot of space. I've still got heaps of room in the tray if I want to put rubbish and things like that in there. You come around here. On this side of the canopy, I've got basically a single drawer. It's a big drawer. I fit the IGT so the table goes straight into there. Inside here, I've got a pretty amazing 12-volt system. Check this out. So this big cavity here is where I basically keep a lot of my gear, including my Snatch Weekender bag. All my clothes go in there. The 12-volt system though, you've got to see this to believe it. So I'm running the Red Arc Red Vision. This is just a game changer. I've seen a lot of different 12-volt setups, and I'm a bit of a 12-volt nerd myself. This takes the cake. So basically what you do, you don't have any switches in the vehicle. All the relays, fuses, there's no need for any of that because it's all in a distribution box. Now the Red Vision runs with the Manager 30. So that's what charges the batteries. I've got a lithium battery, 100 amp hour lithium in here, which weighs probably about 10 kilos. So it's really lightweight. That's in a little under tray box. So it's hidden out of the way. I don't waste valuable space in here. The Red Vision, for instance, so you've got an app on your phone. You basically can control everything with your phone if you want to. So you're sitting in your camp chair, you're like, oh, I might want to turn these lights off, or you can just press a button on your phone. It's as easy as that. If not, you can just come in here. I've got everything programmed. So these lights here, there's that button there. I've got my fridge, I've got my 12-volt. If I want to put my inverter on, it's that button there. I've got a 1500 watt pure sine wave Red Arc inverter. It's a setup that could run just about anything. I could pretty much, you know, if I got myself another lithium battery, I'd probably be able to run, you know, coffee machine, induction cooker, all that sort of stuff, all the fancy stuff. I've got no need for that sort of stuff. I like traditional ways of cooking, and I just like the fact that I can though. I've got enough battery power. I never need to worry about 12-volt, which is pretty cool. I've also got Terra Loom Industries camp light in here. The other cool thing about this is I can actually change between amber and white. Now, amber, if the bugs are a problem, they're not drawn to an amber light. I can also, you know, for you want to the ambience, you can dim that light right down or dim it right up. Just a cool little feature, really. And while I'm at it, I may as well show you the interior because this truck has come up an absolute treat. So I've got another Red Arc Red Vision screen at the back here so I can check what my batteries are doing from inside the cab. I've also got cruiser consoles, custom center console and roof console. Up here I've got the XRS, the brand new one from GME. It's on a magnetic little holder, perfect for communications out in the bush. But to be honest with you, I'm mainly using this as tell the rest of the convoy, keep reminding them how good the Dirty 30 is performing. This is a hard shell rooftop tent by Drifter. This one is the Wildland one. What I like about this and why I chose this
over all the other rooftop tents on the market is it's 1.2 metres wide. It's a very low profile and only weighs about 50 kilos, so it's lightweight as well. It fits on the Dirty 30 easily, and 4 clips and it's set up. It really is super easy. Ventilation is important in any rooftop tent, and the fact that the actual shell is not connected to the tent, so there's actually a gap between the shell and the canvas on here. So what that means is that it breathes and you don't get that condensation form up inside the tent. I haven't actually slept a night in here. This is the very first night I get to sleep in here. So I report in the morning of just how comfortable it's going to be, but something tells me with a view like that, it's going to be pretty comfy. Well, there you go. It's a really quick run through of the Dirty 30 camp setup. I'm super proud, if you can't tell. It's been 3.5 years in the making to get this vehicle looking like that. It's been a big process. I hope you enjoyed just that quick look around. If you want to see this in more detail, we've actually filmed a full build series. You can go from number 1 right through to a bare chassis to what you see behind me, and the last one goes into detail about this setup and a lot more. If you want us to know more about the 12-volt system, we're going to film a full video on that as well, because there's so much I missed out on. That is a very, very cool system. So yeah, check out the YouTube channel for that. But for now, I'm going to go get a cold beer and sit on the top of that sand dune and watch the sunset over the Breaksea Spit.
If you haven't guessed it already, number 4 on my Fraser favourites is cracking a beer at sunset on the sand dunes of Sandy Cape. I'll tell you now for free, life doesn't get much better.
Well boys, what do you reckon?
Unreal. That's sunset.
Not bad, eh? This time of day, golden hour on top of the sand dune up top of Sandy Cape. I mean, it is windy, blow a dog off a chain up here, but the view is absolutely stunning.
Yeah.
Cheers, mate.
Cheers.
Cheers, boys.
Mate. Cheers, boys.
Fraser Island is one of the jewels of Queensland, and to keep it safe out there, there's no fires permitted on the island. But that doesn't make camping here any less enjoyable, and thanks to Kaido, we've got a solution that's just as good. The charcoal cooker provides plenty of safe heat for cooking, and I tell you what, the steaks taste even better when cooked on charcoal. And combined with the Opus kitchen, we're soon cooking up a storm. Day 1 on Fraser Island, well, it couldn't get any better. Day 2 is looking like it's going to be another cracker on the island, with perfect conditions and sunny skies. Sandy Cape is the perfect place to kick back for a few days, drop a line in and just live the good life. But I've got a lot more favourite Fraser spots to share with you and the boys, so we're going to make tracks. Today we'll be heading back down the coast and taking in a magical swimming spot before crossing the island to the west coast to catch a sunset over the water. After a coffee and a cast or two, we jump back into camp pack up so we can hit the beach. This OP Light is a brand new camper designed from Opus Campers, and what makes this one so special is the fact that Opus has managed to shave hundreds of kilos off the weight of the camper, making it perfect for towing in tough conditions just like we do. And yet, it still packs the features of a luxury camper trailer. From a slide-out kitchen to a queen-size bed, interior lounge, 12-volt system, pantry, and of course heaps of storage. Better yet, they've also managed to bring down the price. And if you can take it to places like this, well, I reckon it's well worth it. I've got to say, that is one of my favourite campsites in Australia, without a doubt. It's pretty easy to see why as well. Right on the water, and it's quite remote up here as well. You don't get a lot of tourists, you certainly don't get any backpackers. Just have the whole place yourself if you're lucky. Now, we're making a bit of an early run down the beach this morning because the tides are very important up here. You've got to do it on a low tide, or else you do get stranded here at Sandy Cape. Now, it wouldn't be a bad thing to get stranded up here, but today we're got a stack of really cool stuff we're going to get into. So, straight back down the beach. We've got a few really exciting things to do. Now that's a classic Aussie sight right there. Blue waters and perfect white sand. But getting to places like this does take some effort, and setting your vehicle up right is important, especially if you plan to tow.
Hey Michael, you got a copy, mate?
Yeah, copy.
Tell you what, it's pretty impressive you managed to bring that camper trailer all the way up to Sandy Cape. I imagine not many trailers come up this way.
Yeah, well, it's done it surprisingly easily.
Before this trip, did you do anything to the rear suspension to get it ready to tow? What'd you do?
Yeah, well, when we got the call about bringing the Opus, we swapped the rear springs over to a mid-range, but yeah, it's still riding just as comfortably as when we got no weight, and it's sitting perfectly, nice and level, towing well.
Because I suppose you'd want to consider the payload of the vehicle and also the ball weight of the trailer as well with the spring weights you go for?
Yeah, exactly. So you count the ball weight of the camper plus the load in the tray. So she's got not too much because obviously there's heaps of room in the Opus, but yeah, still tray's loaded and towing well.
I bet it's a little bit more comfortable than the old leaf-sprung Luxie.
Give her credit, mate.
Yeah, very true, very true. Righto, well, let's keep on heading south and go give Nagala another crack from the other way, eh?
Sounds good, let's do it.
The recently compacted sand means that Nagala is surprisingly easy as we tackle it from the other direction. But another steep little sand climb soon catches out one of the convoy. This is always a risk on Fraser, which is why we always travel with a few sets of max tracks.
Well, we'll set the vehicle up. We've got the max tracks, of course, underneath the rear tyres, and we've got the front max tracks ready to grip as soon as he takes off. We've also set another 2 max tracks where we think is likely to go down because it's a bit of a divot here, a little bit of a rut, so that'll give him traction just when he needs it the most, and hopefully that'll be enough to get him up there. If not, we'll be able to stop, reset, and just use it, just keep doing it until we get up to the top. Stop there, stop there, stop there. We'll set it up again.
One of the best tips when using recovery tracks is to back off as soon as you feel yourself losing momentum. That stops the vehicle bogging down too much and makes it way easier to get moving again once you've reset the tracks. It takes us a few goes to get the Hilux to the top, but with everyone on the tools, it's a pretty smooth recovery. I've said it before and I'll say it again. I wouldn't go anywhere, especially on the sand, without max tracks on board.
Go for it, mate. I reckon you got this.
Yeah!
There we go.
With a bit of a sweat up, it's the perfect time for number 5 on my Fraser must-do list. And that's to take a swim at the stunning Champagne pools. Swimming on the Fraser beaches are usually not recommended because there's a lot of stingers and sharks in that ocean. But this little pool is a safe spot to wash the sand away. It might be the middle of winter, but this is Queensland, and when the sun shines, you just gotta hit the water. There's nothing like a swim to bring on an appetite. As Michael whips out the Opus kitchen to cook up some snags, I thought it'd be the perfect time to give you a detailed look at Ruben's amazing 200 series. And man, this truck is an absolute beast.
One thing I've noticed, obviously a Chop 200 looks good anywhere. When you get close to this one, I just like the actual shape of the vehicle. I mean, that's the thing that separates you guys. This Chop is one of the neatest I've probably ever seen.
So probably the way we get the shape there, Shaun, is we put an integrated roll bar in there, which they're the 2 sheets that come together. So you've got this panel here, the sheet metal, and then you've got the rear sheet that goes on there, and it's joined by that integrated roll bar. So there's only the slightest little bit of filler, but it gives it a fantastic shape.
Really good shape. It'd be super strong too, obviously.
Absolutely.
So you obviously extended the chassis on this one.
Yep.
You already put about 700, 750?
750 in this one, yeah. So we do 650s and 750s in that sort of integration, and we do the short ones as well.
Now, can you tell us a bit about the tray setup you got here? Because this is quite, you've kept it quite low profile, small sort of locker box on here, but you've got a stack of space.
This one here, obviously we've got a diesel tank that goes in the front. This is wasted space on a tray, the headboard.
Yep.
So we try and keep it so we utilise it. So there's a diesel tank in the headboard here, it's roughly 80 litres. On the other side, we've got a filler for the water, and we've got a 70 litre water tank in the back there. And this one here, we've got the smaller size locker box, and I've got 2 fridges in that one. 2
fridges,
yeah.
Wow.
One for the beer, Shaun, and one for the food.
Don't tell me which one, I think I'll find it myself a bit later, I reckon. But that's unreal. And then you've got toolboxes all under the tray, again making the most of all that sort of space.
Absolutely. I like the 750 extension because I get the front toolboxes. Just makes the aesthetics look really, really good, and it's little space for some other extra storage as well.
Got the bar work all around it. You've got 35-inch tyres on it.
Yep.
Just looks like a machine. Brand new clear views. Not many people have those at the moment. How do you find those? Pretty good?
They're absolutely fantastic.
Yeah.
Come out in 3 stages so you can see the trailer behind you really, really well as well. when you're towing.
This is unreal, mate. Well, it's a really, really trick setup, mate, and it's obviously been just eating up whatever Fraser's got to offer. Might go see how the Sossos are going, and thanks again for telling me which one your beer fridge is, because I'll guarantee you when it comes camp time, I'll be back.
Very good.
With lunch done, it's time to head to another of my favourite parts of Fraser, the magical West Coast, and that means shooting inland across the island. The centre of Fraser is crisscrossed with sand tracks that'll take you to inland lakes and deep forests. But the next item on my bucket list is a beach drive on the pristine West Coast. This is one of the best beach runs you'll ever do, and at the end of it is another cracking campsite. Oh, would you get a load of that sight, boys?
Oh my goodness, have a look at that water. That's unreal.
Oh, that's gorgeous. Look at that, the west coast of Fraser Island.
I cannot wait for a cold beer and watch the sun go down over the water, hey?
Oh, sign me up.
And to top it off, boys, we've got one of the best beach drives on Fraser, I reckon. It's a good little tip as well if, you know, school holidays are in full swing, you want to get away from all of the crowds on the island, come to the west coast, because typically you don't get a lot of people down here. This section of coast is intersected by a few deep creeks. Now this area is very tidal, and at high tide the beach may almost disappear, and these crossings are deep and pure salt. There's no way I'd take any of my four drives for a salt bath, so timing is absolutely everything. At the moment the tide is out, so the water is pretty much fresh, so it's a perfect time to cross. Now folks, just wait until you see this campsite up ahead. We're heading as far down the beach as we can make it, to a remote little campsite called Kungle Creek. And there, that's where we'll be able to tick off number 7 on my Fraser favourites list. Well, this looks like a good little campsite, boys. Follow me into paradise.
How good's this? What a cracker of a spot, eh?
Kungle Creek is nestled between the creek and the ocean, and everyone soon found themselves a spot under the trees to set up camp. Michael's got the best spot in the house right now, and he's soon enjoying a beer while the camper inflates. And that leads me to number 7 on my Fraser list, and that's to have a cold beer and watch a sunset over the glorious west coast. Well mate, 2 cracking campsites in 2 nights.
How good is this, eh?
Absolutely sensational, mate. I love it coming down here to the west coast. The only thing to make this campsite a little bit better.
Ooh.
Hey mate,
Oh,
this.
My turn?
Yeah, absolutely, mate. Absolutely. Oh, come on, mate.
Thanks, mate.
You did a good drive that Hilux today. You
Thank you.
You did not put it on its lid.
I didn't.
Cheers to that.
Cheers. Cheers, boys.
Cheers, lads.
Cheers, Ruben.
Soak it all in, eh? Well, boys, the only thing better than sitting on a beach like this is to wrap your laughing gear around some of my cooking. I'm going to get up there. So I'm going to actually use the ovens if that's cool. I feel like tonight's recipe is going to be one of those wild ones. I'm going to need a proper kitchen.
Okay, sounds like a plan. Well, I'm going to sit here and watch the sun go down.
You guys prepare your guts.
Righto.
I'll be back. Wait, notice I've got the heavy end.
How good's this though? It's got a pack on it.
I was going to lighten her up a tiny bit.
Yeah,
John.
can I have it? Thanks, mate.
All right. Tonight we're cooking up a bit of a storm, mate. Cheers, mate. We're cooking up a little bit of a soup
Now,
soup.
before you
Tasty
say
soup.
anything, most soups, I'm going to be honest with you, don't taste very good at all. They don't feed you, they're not a main meal. What is that?
What's
Yeah, it's got a weird shape about it, isn't it?
It does, right? It's not too unfamiliar for you, I'm sure.
Bit big for you, but put it down there anyway. Look, the chicken soup is what is on the cards tonight. Now, this is an old favourite of ours. Like, when I say ours, not me and Jocko, but more so my family. If anyone's crook in the family or something like that,
Chicken soup.
You make this chicken soup, it'll pretty much cure Corona. Like, it's that good. It's that good. No, honestly, it's got that much stuff in it that it's just good flavours all around, wholesome food, but it's the sort of soup that'll fill you up. Don't stop touching that. Stop touching that. I'm going to jump into the mic, Foreman. Got some chicken. Now, this one here is thigh chicken. The whole actually, before I do that, I'm going to leave that right there. I'm going to cut a couple of onions up.
Are these ones that make you cry?
They will, mate, if you're soft.
Oh, that's not a bin, that's meat.
Chuck this straight in the pan. Ooh,
Yep,
yes.
we're on.
Now, this is thigh fillet. I like thigh fillet. It's got good flavour. What's your favourite, Jocko? Thigh or breast, mate?
Oh, I like a bit of both.
To be honest, me too.
I'll take what I can get realistically, but
I reckon thigh can sometimes have a very distinctive taste about it.
it can, yeah.
And I think that's half the beauty of thigh.
It is, mate.
Right,
it is.
but never shy away from a bit of breast.
Oh, how much chicken have you got?
We've got a bit, mate. Like I said, it's one of those meals that will actually fill you up, not like most soups, which are pretty weak, to be honest. That's starting to cook now.
Yep.
I've got chicken fingers, but that's
right.
that's okay. That's okay. I'm gonna get a bit of Cholula. You probably don't want too much of this in there.
Nah, put a fair bit in, mate.
Maybe a little bit more.
Maybe a little bit more than that.
Put the whole thing in there.
Yeah.
Look at that. That's
Was that the whole bottle?
That's a whole bottle, mate. Done.
So what veggies are we putting, mate? We got this.
We're gonna use that one, mate. Look, and we're also gonna use a couple of carrots as well.
Ooh, got a bit of just some butternut.
All the different shapes and sizes you can think of, mate, you want to chuck them in there. There's a fair bit of chopping in this one, so get the kids involved, or maybe don't deal with things. No, anyway, just...
Righto, so the veggies going in with the chicken, or are you taking the chicken out?
If the chicken's ready, or it's a little bit browned off, put the chicken in the lid just to get it out of the pan. Bit hot for you, mate.
Yeah, it is a bit warm.
Thought you had welder's hands, mate. You just helped me build that canopy.
Yeah, but
it goes to show, really, doesn't it, folks? Those that can't handle the heat should probably stay out of the kitchen, and that goes for welding as well. We're about to put in the veggies. We're going to put them straight into a hot pan.
This is a very healthy meal.
It is pretty good. It is pretty good. This is, like I said, pure coronavirus, mate. It's got that many goodies in there.
A spray. How's that looking, mate?
It's looking red hot, mate. Oh, look, another end in here, mate. You had one job.
That was you.
One job, mate. You helped yourself to a
I
beer
did,
as well.
but you're drinking it pretty slow, so I figured I'd get another one.
Can you get me one?
Yeah, I can now.
Can you get me one?
But
Can you
need to
buy me
finish
one of
that.
my own beers? Is that all right? I reckon that those veggies have been in there for a couple of minutes now.
Yeah.
They're start. You don't want to
good.
brown the veggies off. I don't know what the right word is. Saute. You saute the veggies. Sweat them out a little bit. I don't know what.
Cook them.
Cook them a bit. Yeah. So put the chicken back in there.
Back in, okay.
Back in there. And now it's all hands on deck.
Look at these welder's hands now, mate.
So I've got a bunch of stock, chicken stock. That's going in. This is why I got so much. I just remembered why I got so much. I'm going to chuck in some pasta. The pasta's going to drink a fair bit of this, bit of the juice up. So diced tomato straight in, and here's a secret ingredient. Now no one will tell you this in chef school. You get yourself one of these tomato pastes. I'm going to put the whole lot in. Oh, put a bit over a tablespoon.
I just opened
Oh
this.
yeah. Give that's Vegeta.
Vegeta.
Sprinkle of that in.
Sprinkle.
Yeah, just like a little bit. I'm putting about 2 tablespoons of tomato paste in. All right, grab a beer, give that a stir.
You know a tip I learned when I was in apprenticeship school, mate? Is clean up as you go.
Oh, it's probably the only job you'll ever be tasked with when it comes to cooking, mate.
Yeah, fair. I did cut some stuff pretty good just then.
Let's leave that for about, I don't know, 1 beer and maybe 2. Come back and we're on.
Very good.
Oh,
I can smell that from over there.
how good does this look, mate? I think it's ready. Better call the boys in and
Come on, boys.
look at that. What do you reckon of
It's
that?
really hot, but it's good.
This is what it's all about. You get the old soup on the boil, they can actually taste quite good. This is a nice little chicken soup, super healthy, but also real tasty. Tell you what, boys, sometimes you're gonna pinch yourself. Fraser Island,
How good, eh?
mate, absolutely cracking. I reckon we jump into the old Opus.
Yeah, it's in there.
Yeah, go in
good.
there, couple of beers all round.
Righto.
This is good. How good is this, mate?
Yum, yum.
I'm going in.
Waking up on the west coast of Fraser Island is an experience like no other, and Kungle Creek has got to be one of the best campsites on this side of the island. Far off the beaten track and the perfect place between the ocean and this beautiful stretch of water. If ever there was a place to slow down, park up the 4B for a few days and recharge the batteries, it's right here. Michael bagged himself a 5-star view from the Opus camper. But whether you choose a trailer, some rolled out canvas or a rooftop tent, this is a place that's just got to be visited. Soon enough, the boys are up and about and getting ready to make their most of the last day on the island. I could happily spend a week or more camping here, but we've got to make tracks for the last ferry today. And of course we want to get into a bit of exploring as well, so it's nearly time to make tracks. Now, Jocko's put his hand up to cook breakfast, and given his cooking abilities, he needs all the help he can get. With the Opus kitchen on hand, he almost looks like he knows what he's doing.
Oh, Jocko, smells good, mate. How good is this? I'll take that one. Thank you. That's good.
That's my muffin. Fine.
Yum, 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 mate. What do you reckon? Today, head straight up the beach.
Feels like a plan, mate, but I'm still just a bit salty eating my muffin.
No, barbecue sauce is a good little touch.
Yeah.
A bit of sriracha in there as well.
Bit of sriracha, a bit of cheese.
I reckon we get this meal going.
Yep.
We'll pack it all down.
Yeah.
Instead of going in the first inland track, I reckon we'll do a bit of a beach run today, go straight up and then tackle some of those inland tracks again.
Yeah, cool. I've never actually been that far.
It's exciting. It's good, mate. The tides are perfect today as well, so we'll get a bit of a run up there. Alright, all packed up and ready to go. Bit of a shame to leave this campsite though, it's an absolute cracker. Alright boys, it's a shame to leave this campsite, but there's some other pretty good options up this beach.
Tell you what, mate, I absolutely love the West Coast. Look at that water, unreal.
Yeah, how good is it, eh? Blue water, white sand, and just no one in sight, mate.
That is just magical.
You've heard from us, but what do you reckon, folks? How do you rate Kungle Creek? And how would you rate the west coast of Fraser versus the east coast? Would you give this one a visit on Fraser Island, or maybe you've got a different favourite campsite? Let us know in the comments below. As I've mentioned already, Fraser is all about the timing of tides. If you pick the wrong time of day, getting to a campsite like this becomes almost impossible. But get it right, and the beach is all yours to enjoy. On today's run, we're going to head up north to Outtake Creek before cutting inland to explore some of the hidden history of the island. With some capable rigs in the convoy, we've been able to make it all over the island without any dramas at all, and the Opus has made it look pretty easy too.
Now, one of the cool things about this particular trip is we got to test out the new OP Light camper from Opus. Now, a lot of the times you don't want to take campers to remote areas, especially if you've got really soft sand, because some of the times they can be a little bit heavy. The OP Light is really light, it's 25% lighter than a standard Opus, which isn't even that heavy anyway. So we were able to drag it all over the island really easily, and it just gave us all the mod cons of having a camper trailer around. Obviously Michael got a really good night's sleep and had an amazing camp set up, but I got to use a kitchen. We get to pull the kitchen out during lunch, dinners, and just the convenience of having that extra storage as well. Just goes to show that if you get the right camper trailer, you really can take it to some of the most remote destinations, including Sandy Cape and the west coast of Fraser.
Yep, we pride ourselves on showing you some of the best gear to get out to places like this, and the Opus gets a big thumbs up from me. Up ahead though, is a bit of kit that didn't quite stand up to the elements.
See that big white thing on the beach up there?
Crikey, that looks like an old yacht or something, is it?
Yep, you're right mate, it's not an old Hilux, an old yacht. A couple of years ago it actually broke anchor in some really rough seas off here and went aground and stayed here ever since.
How cool's that, eh? Probably won't last as long as a Mahino though, I don't think.
I don't think so mate, I don't reckon they make them like they used to.
Definitely not. Hiluxes and boats.
And any old Toyota in general actually.
Yeah, true that.
The 30 has been turning a few heads since we got here, and up ahead is another local that seems keen to check it out. Dingoes are reasonably common up on the island, but it's best to give them a bit of a wide berth. They can be dangerous at times, especially in mating season and breeding season, but well worth checking out from a distance.
Another little creek crossing. This is a Wynya, and this creek runs behind the campsites, and it's another great little camping spot on the west coast of Fraser. You've got to cross quite a deep little freshwater creek to get back into that inland track. Always a little bit of fun.
Next up, we're back into Fraser's inland tracks and soon getting into the soft sand which the island is famous for.
Boys, we've got a steep little climb here. It looks quite rutted too, and pretty soft, so I suggest you get into it.
Maybe a good chance to flex up the suspension a little bit in the 38.
Loves it, mate, loves it.
I'm running Goodyear Wrangler Duratrax on the 30, an all-terrain tyre that is making light work of the Fraser sand.
There you go, John. Big Luxy got enough horsepower to get up there, mate?
Yeah, she's got plenty, but I'm lifting wheels. Lucky she's twin locked, hey?
Yes, go the Luxy. Need to go with that trailer, Michael.
Yeah, she's going all right. We're getting through, I think. Yep.
Luckily that opens track.
Just walk through that like it's nothing. What's your plan of attack moving?
No, she's just walked through there, mate. Just too easy for the big girl.
Righto, you wouldn't have enough power to get up there, would you, mate?
Mate, we're halfway home right now, let's see, eh?
You get stuck, just blame Jocko.
Yeah, nice little climb that one, eh?
Jock's been piloting the Pony Lux like a boss all trip, but the LN106 has been working hard in the sand, and soon needs a bit of a top up.
Just pulled up for lunch and the steering box on the old Luxy leaks a little bit, so I just thought I'd check the fluid's a bit low, so I'm just going to top it up.
It's so important with any four-wheel drive to stay on top of fluid maintenance, and especially so with an old rig. Trust me, a little bit of preventative maintenance right now means avoiding expensive problems down the line. Now, I've got one more item of my Fraser favourites that I want to show you, and this is something of a hidden gem. If you look hard enough, Fraser is full of history, from the obvious coastal wrecks like the Mahino to the ruins of a secret commando training camp from World War II. But this particular bit of Fraser's history is unique as it doesn't appear on any of the island's tourist maps, so you've really got to follow your nose to discover it for yourself. This site is a reminder of the island's extensive logging history.
I don't make them like that anymore, Jocko.
Definitely not.
This is so cool to be
Very cool, yeah.
down here. There's just so much history on Fraser Island if you know where to look. This here is the Postons timber camp, the old logging camp. Back on Fraser Island, they used to do a lot of logging down here. In fact, a lot of the sand dunes you see today used to have rainforests on them and a lot of old timber growth. There's still some of the old timber growth down in like Valley of the Giants and stuff like that, and you get to go through some of those inland tracks, you will see remnants of the logging history. But if you go a little bit off the beaten track, you can find places like this, which is a proper walk down memory lane. And
Yeah, mate, definitely. And I just love that as soon as boys see a bit of old machinery, turn into little kids again, and you just get all excited. It's great.
exactly right. I think we're going to go do a bit more exploring.
Definitely. There's a couple of old tractors down there.
Lead the way, mate.
Righto.
Now, if I happen to need a spare Goodyear for the 30, it looks like I can pick up an old one here. And if my Duratrax last half as long as these old tyres, I reckon I'm onto a pretty good thing.
Tell you what, Fraser Island, I've only been here a couple of times, and every time I'm just blown away at all the different places you can go. Like, you get sunrises from camp on the east coast and sunsets on the west coast. You come in here and it feels like you're driving in a rainforest. It's a beautiful part of the world. I think we're pretty lucky to have this accessible to us in a four-wheel drive, and I'm also feeling pretty lucky and thankful that I get to be able to do this with a bunch of great mates. Fraser Island, eh? How good's this?
I'll tell you what, it's been a ripper of a couple of days here on Fraser Island. It couldn't have been a better shakedown of the Dirty 30. Conditions have been just about perfect. We've been able to access the whole entire island. While it wasn't hard driving, I mean, the 30's just eating everything up, and you know, I just love getting out of this vehicle. It is an absolute weapon. You're going to see a lot more of it on here. I reckon I'm not the only one who's absolutely loved this trip. Back on the east coast, mate. How's the little Luxy going?
Mate, she's performed really well this trip. Even the new canopy as well. It's been nice to have a little bit of a camping setup. It just proves that I didn't need much to enjoy myself on Fraser.
And Michael, with the Opus, mate, you did camping a little bit more luxurious than Jocko. How'd you go with the Opus?
Yeah, great, mate. Definitely a treat compared to the swag that I'm usually in, so she's been pretty easy to tow as well.
And mate, how did the Hilux perform, all right?
Excellent. Yeah, the new spring's just as comfortable as unloaded. It's great.
And Ruben, mate, you've been smiling from ear to ear this whole entire trip. And how's that 200 gone? As your first little shakedown last night at camp you were talking about. You got a few more mods planned for this thing.
Oh, look, I couldn't be happier. It's just been fantastic, and it's driven everything so well on the island, and it's a 200, mate, as well, so it's just fantastic all round.
And Kaido, mate, your beast of a Hilux, how's that going?
Mate, this is his second trip back here, and I'll tell you what, it won't be his last. Buddy Fraser, it turns it on every time. The West Coast was just absolutely awesome. I can say that I'll definitely be back here again.
Well, mate, you've done a good job with that little Hilux. You've kitted it out. It's a tough little tourer, and very, very capable vehicle.
Speaking of capable vehicles, mate, firstly, I'd like to say that 30 is an absolute work of art, and she's done well this trip. I think Fraser's a pretty good place to shake her down. What do you reckon?
Mate, you're not wrong. I could not be happier. I'm so stoked with how this build has turned out, and now I've done a good touring trip, and I've been able to prove that everything sort of works. I can't wait to get it on some tough tracks now, mate. So I'm thinking, I don't know, somewhere tough, lift a wheel, gauge those diff locks, you know.
Now you're speaking my language, mate. Bring it on, eh?
All right, boys, let's trek south and try and get that barge.
Fraser Island is going to be one of my favourite places in Australia, and I hope we've given you some inspiration for your next visit. Whether you've got your own hot tips for things to do on Fraser, or you just like seeing the 30 on its maiden voyage, let us know in the comments below. We'd absolutely love to hear from you. For now though, it's time to say goodbye to this little slice of paradise. You can bet your last dollar though, I'll be back again soon.
Now, coming up next, we have our outtake, so don't go anywhere. But whatever you do, make sure you take 30 seconds to like, subscribe, and turn your notifications on to the best four-wheel driving channel on YouTube, 4Drive 24/7.
If you want to get to places just like this, stick around as we take you through some of the gear that we rely on to make it all possible.
Now's the point of the show that we're going to run through some of the gear that we use on this Fraser trip to make it even better. Now, it was an epic trip, mate, and I'll start off first with the tyres I used.
Yeah, you got some new ones.
That's right, mate, I am running some new tyres. They're the Wrangler Duratrax. Now, these are like an aggressive all-terrain tyre. They're perfect on the sand. Now, as you saw, the Dirty 30 did not struggle, and I reckon that I had the tyres down to around 18 PSI, and it just flew through all that sand. It was actually quite easy. And great tyre, mate, they were fantastic tyres.
Definitely, yeah, she did really well. Didn't get stuck as well, that's even better. Speaking of new things though, I just chucked on the new shackle hoodie. And tell you what, being from New South Wales, I was expecting Queensland to be warm, but it wasn't warm up
You're
here.
right in the middle of winter. Here I am in shorts and t-shirt, mate. Just some of us are a cut tougher than the others, I think. That's all it is. Comes down to you're wearing the new shackle hoodie.
And it's super comfortable, super warm. I'm glad I
You've
brought
lived
it.
in that thing, mate.
I have. It smells like lots of things. But
I've got the new one as well, mate. This is the Shed Crew, new design, but like always, you want to see what the latest designs are, we're always putting new ones out. Jump on us, natchclothing.com.au, and we do ship worldwide. Another really cool product, mate, that I honestly would not go bush without is a Direction Plus pre-filter.
Yep.
I think if you own a diesel engine, you really deserve to take cheap insurance and get yourself a pre-lined pre-filter, and that way you won't get water into your injectors, your pump, and potentially destroy your whole fuel system, which can cost in excess of $10,000. So in my opinion, very cheap insurance and a must-have for every single diesel out there.
Yep.
So I'd also like to take this opportunity to thank you for watching our show, and trust me, it's Jocko's shout right now at the Rainbow Beach Hotel.
Yep.
So mate, what do you reckon?
well, first they got to watch the outtakes, but we can go for a beer. So.
Well, enjoy.
Alright, take it away.
Do you want to see a strange little man? That's him over there. Here's a question for you, a real one. Have you ever had a good tasting soup before?
Yeah,
Okay.
all the time.
One of the best campsites in Australia, in my honest, humble opinion. But you can't have honest, humble opinion. That's weird.
That's like that.
You shut up, Chewie. He's right there.
You know when you like have that yawn and you can't get over that little hump in the yawn?
You could use that to scoop that out.
You could, mate. A little bit of a, that's a vegan delight, that.
Oh, it is. It's lovely.
So you can use too?
Depends. You find these stretch.
These boys are jamming me up for a big one. Don't fall to peer pressure.
Yeah, g'day guys, my name's Jocko and I like Hiluxes. Yeah, I always try and build my own Hiluxes. I just like building cars.
In the composure. How's that going, Jocko? Is it good, mate?
I like 2.8 Hiluxes, they're real good, but 3 litres are better.
What are we laughing at? I don't even know.
I spilled a can of tuna on myself before. Don't eat tuna driving LM106. It's a mistake. Oh, there we go. Got it. Took a little bit of yawning.